Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, mothers, fathers, sons, and daughters, welcome to the Shake Hands Podcast. My name is Dan McGaney, your host. This is my friend, John Ebaugh. So, John, I want to say thank you for coming in and getting on the podcast. For those who don't know, John is from Denver. So, John, you live in Denver, Iowa. Do you live outside of Denver? Where do you live exactly?
I live on the outside on a dairy farm.
To the north, east, west, south?
Yep, northeast.
Northeast part of Denver?
Northwest.
Northwest side? Okay. And so you said you live on a dairy farm. So that means you got cows?
Yep.
So tell me a little bit about that. We're going to talk wrestling, but some of you guys might not know, John is a dairy farmer. His whole family's dairy farmers, and I know I talked to his father a lot about it. Tell me a little bit about what you do on your dairy farm.
I'll go out and milk cows, feed calves, mix feed for the cows, just make sure everything runs smoothly.
Now, back in the olden days, they would have to grab them and do the milk. Do you have to do that, or you got a machine that does it?
No, we have machines. That would take too long.
So you just got to stick the little machines on there and do that? Okay. Do you have a favorite cow or a cow that you don't like? Is there any of those that you're like, man, that one is always a fussy one?
No, they're all usually pretty good.
Yeah, they just get their milk sucked out, and then they go on about their eating business.
Yep.
All right. And so about how many head of cattle do you have?
Around 600 we have.
600. See, every day you got to hook up 600 things.
Or no, we have we milk about 200.
Oh, you milk 200 of them?
About 600 total.
So the other ones aren't dairy cows, or?
Well, there's steers, and then we take them to the sale barn and sell those.
Oh, okay. So those are for food, for meat, and then the dairy ones you don't eat. You milk those.
Yep.
So 200 a day, twice a day. You got to do that.
Yep.
Now that's what I had heard. I don't know much about dairy farm. You farm so twice a day. They come in. Do they come in on their own? They kind of know when they're full and ready to get milked, or?
Well, we bring them in about 5 a.m. and 3 p.m.
So they got a little schedule they're on. That's cool. So how is it being a dairy farmer, being able to work in your wrestling? How does that work?
It's a very busy schedule. I know what practices and tournaments, just get everything done.
Yeah, because I can't imagine. I know that like getting my kid up for tournaments and stuff, and to think that I would have to go milk 200 cows before I did that or feed a bunch of cows. What happens, say for instance you're out of town, it's a 2-day tournament, how do you take care of that situation?
Either we have to hire somebody to do it, or one of my parents will stay back and do it by themselves.
All by themselves?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Now, you do have some brothers, yeah?
Yep.
What are their names?
Joe and Jeb.
Joe and Jeb? And they older or younger?
Joe's a sophomore and Jeb's a 4th grader.
4th grader. Oh, you got a young one. And you are a?
Senior.
Senior. So you're a senior in high school at Denver High School. Tell me a little bit about your career. When did you start wrestling?
Around 3rd grade.
3rd grade. Who got you into it?
I just wanted to try it, I guess.
Yeah?
I've loved it ever since.
Now, Denver's notorious for having a good wrestling program. I know that they had, and a gentleman that just left there, Gunnar Wolfensberger, is that his name? And he wrestled here at UNI. We're at the UNI. That's why we're here at UNI. Figured we'd highlight them a little bit. He wrestled for UNI. Now, did he ever get it? I seen him wrestle a couple times, but was he ever the guy that got to go to nationals, or did he ever get that starting spot?
I'm not quite sure. I didn't call.
I know he struggled off and on with somebody else at his weight that was really tough, and they took turns. I didn't know if he ever had a chance to go to the NCAAs there or not. Now, Gunnar wrestled here. What weight did he wrestle?
49.
49. What weight are you?
60.
Oh, wow. You're a lot bigger than him. Okay, so he wrestled here, and so did Dylan Peters, and believe that he went to join Dylan at Simpson College.
Yep.
And they're both coaching down at Simpson College now?
Yep.
Okay. At Simpson College, they're coaching. Now, is that something you thought about doing, is going into college and wrestling, or is that something on your mind?
As of right now, is.
You'd like to do that. Okay, so you started in 3rd grade, and how'd you do? How'd you do the first couple years? When did you start, like, really figuring it out?
Not till around 5th grade.
Now, 5th grade? About 3 years, and you started figuring it out. What's the first year you made it to state?
My 5th grade year.
5th grade year, and how'd you do that year?
2-2.
2-2, so that's not bad. You won a couple matches down the state. And how were you a big kid, medium-sized kid, little kid back then?
Yeah, I was about in the middle. I was about 100 pounds.
Who were some of the guys that you were wrestling back in those days? Do you remember any of them that were like your rivals?
Like Logan Neals, Logan Meyer.
Logan Meyer, doesn't he wrestle with you on the same team now?
Yeah, now we are.
So you guys are teammates. So do you guys get to train together?
Yep.
That's cool. Okay, so you got Logan Myers with you, and 5th grade you went to state. How many times have you been to state since then, as a youth?
5th grade to 8th grade I made it.
Yeah, every year?
Yep.
Wow, did you ever place there?
Yeah, 6th grade I got 4th, and then 7th grade was one match off, and 8th grade I got 2nd.
Nice. You went from one match off your 7th grade to getting 2nd. Wow, that's a huge jump there. And then now that you've been in high school, this is your senior year in high school. So he's been in high school 4 years. His 4th year is coming up. How have you done in high school?
My sophomore year, I made it down the state and got a medal. Got 7th,
What weight was that?
160.
At 160. Ain't that what you weigh right now? So you're basically the same size?
I'm a little bit bigger now.
Oh, you're a little bigger? What weight are you planning on going?
60 again.
I'm warning you, don't go 60. So you're going 160 again. That's where you got 4th, you said?
7th.
7th. Okay, you got 7th as a sophomore.
Yep.
What about last year?
I got 3rd at districts.
Yeah, 3rd at districts. Man, that must have been tough. Who beat you out at district? Who's the guys at districts, and how did they do at state?
Zook and Downing. I think Zook got 7th and Downing went 0-2.
Okay. Yeah, I know both those guys. And then, so this year is your last year. What's your goal for this year, and what are you doing to prepare for that?
Definitely at the top of the podium is my goal. And then I practice almost every day, trying to get down here to UNI to practice with the Immortal.
You practicing with the Immortals?
Yep.
Okay. And how long you been wrestling with them?
I think since my sophomore season.
Okay, so when you went to state and high school and placed, you wanted some more of that, so you found Immortals, started working with them.
Yep.
Now, weren't you a member of other clubs growing up? I remember seeing you in the Trophy Hunter Club.
Yep.
What other clubs have you been a part of?
Trophy Hunters, PWC, DWC.
Okay. Was you ever with, what was that, Elite Takedown? That was what this club, what Immortals was previously. Did you ever
I went
get
to a couple camps for them.
a couple camps for them?
I wasn't enrolled as a member.
Okay. So then you do that. So your goal is to, now do you have, now I'm not telling you to tell me what college you're thinking about going to, but is there any colleges that like you would like to go to, or are you totally open to whatever, and what's going to help make that decision for you?
As of right now, probably their ag program, agriculture.
Agriculture program somewhere? That's what's going to help you decide
Yep.
what school you go to?
Definitely.
And now, are you kind of going to base it off of how you do this year, and who's contacting you as to where you want to go, or are you going to just decide to go wherever you want? Are you looking for colleges to maybe talk to you to help kind of say, okay, well, they want me, so maybe let's see what they got for me?
Yeah, any scholarships up with money and everything.
Yeah, obviously you want that to help out.
Yeah.
So now, are you willing to go JUCO, NAIA, NCAA 3, Division 2, Division 1? Are you open to any of that, or are you open to just, hey, I want to go here, and if I don't go here, then I probably won't wrestle?
Probably I'm sticking to like D3 and D2, D1.
Yeah, okay. So you're not looking, Grandview is not something that you'd consider, or do they not have agriculture?
I don't think they have much of a agriculture
Okay,
program.
and you wanted to go agriculture because you want to continue your father's business
Yep.
with the cows?
Yep.
Yeah, you seen he had a pretty good life for you and the boys, so you want to continue to make that money, herding those cows. Now, are you looking to maybe take over your dad's ranch, or are you looking to expand and start your own little ranch on the side, and maybe with his help or part of his?
I haven't really decided yet.
Yeah, decided.
Probably just expand his herd,
Expand his
make
herd.
it bigger.
All right. Now your brother's interested in any of that, or are you the one?
Both of them are interested in.
So you're gonna have to
Cows.
divide those cows up.
Yeah.
You being the oldest, I think you should get half the cows,
Yeah.
and then they each get 50. That's how I would do it. I'm the oldest in my family. I don't know about you, but I think the oldest should get a little extra. 'Cause they always had to help do everything first, figure out what you were capable of doing, and then they usually had to help with the kids too, which is like a herd of cows.
Yeah.
One of the guys can definitely be a big workout. So anybody else in your family ever wrestle? I know that your brothers wrestle, and they're pretty good, and hopefully I'll get them on this season. I know you won brothers in high school. Who else in your family has wrestled? Did your father?
Yeah,
uncles?
my father wrestled for a couple of years, and then I had a great uncle that wrestled, and his 2 kids wrestled.
Okay, and who got you into it? Who's the one besides yourself saying you want to do it? Who is the person that you think kind of really is like, yeah, all right, my son wants to wrestle, let's do this?
My father,
Yeah, I know I see him around a lot. What's your father's name?
Jeremy.
Jeremy? I never knew your father's name, I don't think. I just knew he was John and Joe's dad, and then Jeff's dad when Jeff come along. And I remember seeing Jeff, and like, dang, he looks like those other. And they're like, yeah, that's my kid. I'm like, it is? So I didn't realize. So your father, I still can't get over that's his name. I didn't know your father's name. All the time, I sit and talk to him every time I practice too. I'm always talking to him. It's Ebaugh. So now, did anybody on your mother's side of the family wrestle?
I don't think so.
How does your mother feel about not having any daughters?
I think she's okay with it.
She's
not
okay.
definitely with the drama and stuff.
Yeah. So none of you boys decided to be, feminine like you all are pretty manly boys wrestling.
Yeah.
You're tough guys. Yeah, I don't know. Did she ever try to put a dress on you?
No.
My mom did me one year for Halloween. I still am traumatized by it. Not that it's a bad thing. If you want to wear a dress and you're a male, that's your gig. But for me, I was like, I dressed up as a cheerleader on my own in college one time because I dressed up as a girl, and I thought, man, why am I doing this? But it's Halloween, you're supposed to do crazy stuff, right? So you said at 5th grade you kind of figured out wrestling. What kind of goals have you set growing up? Did you even set goals growing up, and are you setting goals now?
Yeah, I definitely set goals back in 4th grade.
In 4th grade?
Yep.
And now, how do you go about, what are some things you do with your goals? Do you just like wake up and go, man, I want to be a state champion? Or is there things that you put pen to paper? Do you write your goals down? Do you tell yourself your goals? Do you remind yourself? What do you do to help you achieve those goals?
I wrote them down, and I stick them in my sock drawer.
In your sock drawer?
Yeah.
Yeah, because everybody has to get clean socks every
Yeah.
day. I got you. All right, and what are some goals? You said you go to be a state champion, wrestle in college. What do your parents do to help you achieve your goals? Do they kind of leave that up to you, or do they help do things? I know your dad takes you to events, but does he do other things to help you with wrestling?
Encouraging.
Just
Yeah,
encouraging.
they're encouraging and like helping me get the practice and stuff.
What's the toughest thing about wrestling, you think?
The mindset, definitely,
Yeah.
and discipline.
All right. It's amazing you say cutting weight, because some people, I've had some kids that are like, cutting weight. I'm like, that shouldn't be the toughest thing. You're cutting too much. If that's the hardest thing, you shouldn't think about that all the time. I think the kids should, I believe you have to lose a little bit of weight, but I'm not into, suck off every ounce of muscle that you put on all summer long just to make a weight class.
Yeah, I haven't done that before. I haven't really cut weight.
Yeah. Now, who do you train with mainly at Denver?
It used to be Cale Krieger, but he graduated.
He
Now
graduated.
It's like
Where's he going to school?
Co.
So he's over at Cole. You got 2 former alumni over at Simpson. So you got some connections some places.
Yeah.
And then who do you train with now? Who else do you have?
Ben Folsky, Brendan Graber.
Okay. And they're Denver kids?
Yep.
Okay, and what grade are they in?
Brendan's a junior and Ben's a junior as well.
Oh, okay, they're both juniors. All right. Let me see here. Family, wrestle. Growing up wrestling, who have you looked up to, or who are some of the wrestlers that you've watched growing up that you kind of maybe help motivate you?
Brandon Sorensen, I remember watching him in high school a lot.
Yeah. So if you don't know, Brandon Sorensen, a 4-time state champion for Iowa. He was 6-time. He won 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. He was won 6 AAU state titles in a row. He won 43 state titles total. And he wrestled for the University of Iowa. And didn't he place at nationals? Did he do it every year at nationals down there for Iowa?
Yeah, I think every year he plays.
A 4-time national placement for Iowa. So Brandon definitely has a pretty extensive history in wrestling. What is he doing now? Do you know?
He's continuing to wrestle still.
Oh, is he? He's doing the
Freestyle,
international
yeah.
circuit? Okay. All right, that's good. So we're going to have to take a break right now. We're going to go to our commercial break. For those of you at home, just stick around. We'll come right back. We're actually not going to leave. For those of you on the radio, we're going to go ahead and stop. This will be the end of part 1. We're going to come back part 2. We'll talk about what Denver looked like for you this year and what with the coaching change, what's happened. All right, welcome back to the Shake Hands podcast. For those that were on camera, you're watching, all you saw was a pause. For those of you're checking out, this is the second half of the Shake Hand podcast. My guest today is John Ebaugh. He's a senior at Denver High School, wrestling for the Denver Cyclones. Now, before the break, we mentioned that we're going to get into what your season is going to look like this year. You talked about you wrestling with Ben and that. Recently, I know the people at home were wondering, what's it going to be like? I know that your coach recently resigned from coaching at Denver, and you're going to end up with a new coach. How do you feel about that, and do you think that will affect you going into the season?
This year is definitely going to be different than last year, just because there's a different person in charge. And then I'm going to go in with the same mindset, be the top of the podium, and push it, getting people to push me in practice.
Now, Chris stepping down, I imagine that was quite a surprise to you. It was a surprise to everyone, I think, him stepping down. And now, do they have any idea of who might be taking over? Do you know? You don't have to let any cat out of the bag if you're not supposed to tell me. But do you have any ideas of who might be taking over, or what you're hoping for, or anything like that?
Jared Pickett said he was already going to
Jerry Pickett stepping
Yeah,
up.
they
All
made
right.
a decision.
And what role did he play last year in the Denver program?
He was an assistant coach.
He was assistant coach, and tell me a little bit. What do you know about him? Did he wrestle somewhere? What's his history in wrestling? Do you know?
Yeah, he wrestled at Morningside in
Morningside.
college,
Okay.
and he wrestled in Nebraska for high school.
Okay. All right. So he's been in the room last year. How long has he been with the program previous to this?
This is his third year, I think. Second year.
Second or third year?
Yeah.
Okay. And is he a young guy or older guy? I can't remember.
Yeah, he's about 35, 30.
About 35?
Yeah.
Okay. This is breaking news for me because I didn't know yet. This will be out 2 weeks from when we're actually recording this, so it probably won't be breaking news by then. So for those of you at home, that it looks like there's a good chance it might be. I mean, it hasn't been announced yet, so obviously this could be totally changed by the time, everybody's got to go through the process and whatnot. And all the other coaches sticking around. Is there other coaches? I know Gunnar left. Is the other coaches going to be able to stick around and stay with the program?
There's still going to be a few, like Tim Nagan and Chris Ristow are going to stay around.
Okay. And Chris, I know he's done a lot of the junior high in the past, and then lately I've seen him a lot with the high school. So he's been around for years. I know he's around my age. We used to wrestle back in the day. So I know he's a good dude. He has 3 daughters, I believe, doesn't he?
Yep.
Yeah. He never wanted to trade. Maybe he wanted to trade your mom for one of your boys. Yeah, I know a couple guys like that. I think Joshua Schwaffer's like that. He has a couple daughters. I know some guys that are hardcore wrestlers, and all they get is daughters. But I tell you what, girls wrestling getting bigger. NCAA talked about the girls nationals coming up. So that's growing. So if you got a daughter out there, and if you watched Who's Number One the other day, they talked about let your daughters do it. Let your daughters grow up and be confident and develop the skills that wrestling. What are some of the things that wrestling has taught you over the years?
Yeah, like self-discipline's the biggest. Trying to maintain weight and everything during the season, and going to every practice.
Now you're not one that I think ditches practice, but what are some of the excuses you think wrestlers use to ditch practice? Do you know of any?
Probably.
See, I coach, so I hear a lot of the crazy stuff. So I just wondered if you hear stuff, because I don't see you as a guy who avoids work, because if you don't milk those cows, they're gonna be leaking all over the field.
Yeah. Some excuses might be like a boyfriend or girlfriend.
That's why I say you shouldn't have a boyfriend or girlfriend, unless they are an elite athlete as well, because there's so much that goes into athletics. Now, you just had homecoming, right?
Yep.
Did you take a girl to homecoming?
Yep.
Is that your girlfriend?
Yeah.
What's her name?
Julia.
Julia from Denver.
No, she graduated from Wapsie.
Oh, she's already graduated.
Yeah.
She's an older lady. Oh, meow, cougar time. Now, does she go to college anywhere? Is she working?
Yeah, she's a Hawkeye.
She's a Hawkeye. Okay, so how's she feel about you going off to college? She wants you to stay close by?
I feel like she told me to stay.
She wants you to stay nearby, yeah. I imagine so. She don't want to lose her man off to some college and all them crazy college women. Now, have you wrestled freestyle and Greco over the years?
Yeah, I've done a little bit of it.
A little bit of it. Is folk style your favorite, or do you like one of those other styles?
Probably folk styles.
And what do you like most about folk style?
I don't know really.
You don't know, you just know that you like that?
I'm probably the best at it.
Yeah. Now, are you someone that can ride well, or are you just really good at getting out and you like that free point, or?
No, I'm more of a neutral guy.
Yeah. What kind of advice would you have you possibly given your younger brothers? I know Joe probably don't listen to you because he's almost your age, he's a couple years younger, so he probably knows everything. I mean, at 14, most kids know everything. At least that's my experience with my son. But Jeb, do you ever sit in his corner and encourage him to wrestle, and what kind of advice do you give him?
Yeah, I just sit in his corner when he wrestles, but like some of the advice is like try to get to every practice, go and wrestle kids that are better than you, so you know how it feels like they get your butt kicked.
That's true. That's why that Trophy Hunter Club was so good, because you knew every time you walked in, somebody's going to kick your butt. And so, what advice would you give young John if you could go back to, say, 6th grade or so, or 5th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade, in your junior high years? What advice would you give yourself that would have prepared you better for where you're at now?
Probably going to more practices.
Go to more practices?
Yeah.
Yeah. I know that sometimes I would see you, but not your brother. I'd see your brother and not you. So I imagine sometimes at home somebody had to stay home and do the work.
Yeah, so that's a big thing.
Yeah.
Trying to get all the chores done.
What's a normal practice? What's kind of practices do you like to have when you're at practice? What's a typical practice that you enjoy going to? Are you a lot of live guy? Are you a technique guy? What do you like?
I could be in the middle, kind of like technique in the front of the practice, and then towards the end, get some live in.
Yeah. Who do you wrestle up here that's tough?
Adam Andreessen from Union.
Oh, okay. And now see, I say his name wrong every time. So Andreessen, is that how you say it? I've called it Anderson. Andreessen. I want to say I'm sorry, Adam. If you someday I'll have you on here and you can tell me how to say your name. But I say his name wrong all the time. Yeah, that guy he's challenging to wrestle. I've watched you roll with him, and you'll have him in a position where it looks like you're going to score, and then all of a sudden he does some weird turn or something and turns the opposite way, and then you're back into another scramble with him.
Yeah, he's a funky guy.
He's fun to wrestle, I bet. So what do you see, or who do you see coming up in your possibly at state that you're going to have to go? Who's returning from last year? Since you're going to be about the same weight as last year, or are you bumping up a weight class?
I'll be about the same.
You'll be about the same weight. And who do you see being your challenges at state? Is there anybody that's coming back that you're like, that guy's going to be here, and this year is my year?
Probably anybody from Bosco that steps out there on the mat.
Yeah, division. Yeah, you're 1A, so you'll have Bosco,
Yeah.
Lisbon, Underwood, Logan Magnolias. Yeah, there's definitely some tough Sioux. West Sioux, are they 1A too?
Yep.
I believe. Yeah, so there's definitely some tough guys there. Who did you wrestle from Bosco last year?
Carson Tenold,
And what weight was that?
160.
And this year you're 160 again?
Yep.
And I believe you might have the other Tenold this year, maybe.
Maybe.
So I think, were they bumping up a weight class maybe, or are they staying the same?
That's what I've heard. I don't know for sure.
I heard Ronavardi was going down. So saying that, there's a lot going on. Give me your projected. Now I know this could change because nobody's weighed in and had practice, official practice yet. What's your what do you see Denver's lineup being for you this year? Obviously, I mean you're not the coach, you're not making the decisions, but what do you project your lineup will be to let those people out there know that hey, this is what Denver's got coming this year? So we got 106. Who do you think you got there?
Either my brother or Rep Bonnet.
Barnett?
Yeah,
Is that his name?
Yep.
And he's a freshman or a sophomore?
He's a junior.
Wow, he's a junior.
Yeah.
He's a pretty small junior.
Yeah.
All right, so that's your 6 pound, about 6 pounds. So then 13. I suspect if one of them don't go 6, they might be going 13.
Yep, I want to go 13.
Okay, so 13. So your brother, I think looking at your brother, he might be the 13 pounder, but hey, I don't know. He get big and strong like you. And then we got 120. Who do you see going 120?
Probably Brooks Meyer.
Brooks Myers. And what was he 13 last year?
Yep.
Yeah, Brooks is a tough kid. Did he go to state last year? You had a lot of guys go last year.
Yeah, he made down, got 8th.
Yeah, so Brooks, I've been watching him for years. That kid can cradle. All right, so you got Brooks Myers going 20 possibly. Who do you think going 26?
Probably Jacob Moore.
Jacob Moore. Okay, he's really improved the last couple of years. I know I've seen him getting in and getting some mat time. And then 26, that's 32's next. Who do you got 32, you think?
Maybe Gabe Lewis.
Gabe Lewis.
Yeah.
That's at 32.
Yep.
And then who would go 38?
Isaac Schimbles.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. Isaac, man, that kid's he's fun to watch. He's kind of tough to wrestle. I know my son wrestles. He says he's a mean wrestler when he wrestles. He's very aggressive. So then you coming to 45. What do you think is going to be the 45?
Probably Logan Meyer or Ben Felsky.
Okay, yeah, Logan. Then you go to 52, the other one.
Yep.
All right, so that kind of be worked out in the room. Then we go to 60. Who's that?
Probably me.
Probably you.
Yeah.
You think it's probably you. Who's going to beat you out at 60? Nobody.
I don't think we have anybody else at 60.
So you're going to get it by default.
Yeah.
I get the varsity spot because I didn't have to wrestle anybody. That happens to a lot of schools. So then you go up to 70. Who we got at 70?
Probably Brennan Graber.
Graver. All right, and then jump 82.
I don't know, 82 to 85 is
82 to 95, whatever you got. You're going to have to get some football players to talk them in.
Yeah, probably. I don't
And then,
know.
what do we got, 220? You got a 220 pounder?
I don't know, from 182 to 285 is pretty open right now.
All your heavier weights?
Yeah.
Okay. That's what we got a bunch of them over at Columbus, I think. We got a lot of those kids. Okay, so that looks like your lineup for them. Do you, what's something, give me an interesting fact about John Ebaugh that nobody knows. Is there anything or any hobbies or anything that you do that people might not know? Or maybe people around you know, but people back home probably don't know. What's something you do? Do you hunt squirrel? Is there anything like that you do?
I probably just milk cows. I don't think I'll.
You just milk cows. You ever ride the cows?
Sometimes.
Seriously? I was just kidding. That's funny. You ride a cow. do your cows got names or just numbers?
Quite a few of them have names.
Quite a few of them have names?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you yell out by their name.
Yeah.
Do you name any of them after like ex-girlfriends?
No.
That's what I would do. And then I'd yell at that cow a lot. Who's probably the biggest match that you remember you ever wrestled? What's one of the biggest matches you've had? And walk me through that match.
The biggest match was my freshman year. We were at West Gym. We were facing Dyke. And I was wrestling Trent Johnson.
Okay.
And for us to win the duel, I had to get teched him below that. I couldn't get pinned at all or we would have lost. And before the match, I was like, I can't get pinned. So I go out there and I don't get pinned, so we win the duel and we're champs in that.
That's a war at the West Gym, you said?
Yep.
Wow, that's pretty cool to be allowed to wrestle in that. Have you wrestled in any other big events like that? Have you got an opportunity to wrestle in anything like the war at the West Gym? I know they got Night of Conflict coming up here in a couple weeks. I'll be emceeing that, by the way, so if you're not doing anything, come check it out. Those of you at home, Night of Conflict, Wrestling's putting that on. They do the War at the West Gym in the spring. They do Night of Conflict in the fall. So if you're not doing anything, that is is that the 19th? I think it's the 19th. I'm not 100% sure. You can get on Facebook or on IA Wrestling website. Check that out. Barbarian Apparel will be there. So you've done any of those other big events? Have you gotten a chance to do any of those?
I do like preseason nationals and folk style nationals.
Okay. Have you did your team win state last year, duels or
We got
individual?
second for duels and then third for individual team.
Okay. And what did last year? Is that the best your team has done at state since you've been there?
Yep.
Okay, that's not bad. Still not a bad turnout. Okay, is there anything else you'd like to add or say to anybody at home? I mean, during the season we'll get a lot more wrestling. May even have you back, probably have your brother on, but this is your chance or opportunity to say hi or give shout outs to anybody that's helped you, any coaches or anything you want to say thank you to. This is your opportunity to do that.
I'll probably say thank you to Coach Wolfensberger. Gunner's big help in my career so far. And Chris Krieger, he's helped me quite a bit too.
Right, yeah, good dudes right there. Okay, well, that's the end of our podcast. I want to thank you for listening in and check out next week as well to the Shake Hands podcast. John Ebaugh, I'll call you Joe. Thank you, and you at home, take care. Have a good one.